Looks a little darker now, doesn't it?
We're live.
Oh, we're live. Hey, we're doing it.
We did it, Mom.
We are doing it.
What's up, y'all? We are finalizing a few things here. Chat us up. Dean is going to be handling the chats over here.
Yeah.
Tell us hi. Say something to us.
Yeah, it'll be a minute before we actually start the podcast episode that we normally do, but we are figuring things out. It's also weird because John has his screen.
We have things figured out. Why are you acting like we don't know what we're doing?
My screen, and all of it's delayed, and they're not delayed in exactly the same way. This is bizarre. It's like some kind of fun house with like the mirrors, but the mirrors are delayed. That's what I feel like right now.
Jonathan just said that we're cuties.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate
buddy.
that.
Thanks, buddy.
A little weird.
I guess so. We're going to wait like 1 or 2 more minutes, see who else pops on here, and then we're going to start the live podcast. So we want as much interaction as possible. So chat us up.
Yeah, we definitely do. We're newbies. I don't care what John says. We don't know what we're doing.
What does that mean? Just because you have you never done a live stream of anything before?
You've already had some people leave by now, so
they're gonna learn all of our secrets of how we make our sound effects. All right, what do you think? About 1 more minute and let's get it rolling.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
I think so. We'll give people a chance to get on here. It's weird. This is delayed. That's not delayed. That's actually perfect on
live.
Yeah. Is there a way that I can look at this and not look at ourselves? Is that?
I just like to look at myself as much as possible. How about you?
Yeah, that's
not true.
Not me at all.
That's a joke. All right, look at that. We got a few more folks showing up. Hey, for the new people that are popping on, chat us up. We're trying to make this as interactive as possible, and we're going to start this episode off in just a couple more seconds.
A couple more seconds. We need.
We got this. The podcast is recording nicely. All right.
I forgot to grab my booster seat. John and I are the same height, by the way. He is not that much taller than me, but in the videos we do booster seats.
I have way better posture than you, apparently.
John has a long torso and bigger hair.
I have short little stubby legs, but a long torso. I'm weird. I look crazy. All right. Hey, I say let's do it.
Ready to do this. All right.
And let me verify for sure. We're recording that. So we were doing this, y'all, because this is going to be this is our next podcast. So we're recording it on Logic and on the YouTubes.
That's right. So everything that you see here, you're going to be able to hear on the podcast as is, maybe with some editing, depending on how ridiculous this is. So ready to get this started?
Man, I was born ready.
Hello, residents of MeepleTown. That's all I got.
What? You didn't even say anything.
I was giving a little teaser. Giving a little teaser? You want me to just jump into this?
You dive right in.
All right.
Head first. Let's do it.
Hello, residents of MeepleTown. This is Dean.
Johnny Live.
And today we're going to be looking at a lot of games. We're going to be reviewing Viticulture, Small World, Agricola, 7 Wonders, and Ginkgopolis. So thanks for joining us for episode number 45. How's that?
That was really good. And I think that my voice almost cracked when I said Johnny Live.
You have one line, literally one line.
See, that's the thing about the live stuff here is that we can't go back and re-record that. So
that's right.
Go.
This is it.
And then you can't tell me I can't.
But behind the scenes stuff, you know that John and I do that, and then we talk about how ridiculous that was, and then we move on to the next section. So
that's exactly what we do. If you were here right now, this is kind of a weird section for those. If you were here right now, you would see Dean in a, oh my gosh, he told me what to say, Hawaiian shirt that is flowery and
blue and white.
Blue and white. Thanks.
That's right. Nailed it.
What else?
Blue and white. Blue and white flowery shirt.
Listen, y'all, he told me I have to say this and I have no idea why. So I'm as interested as you are.
I never get to pick. Okay, but I'm picking today.
Or as uninterested as you are.
So I'm getting ready for the show and I'm downstairs. My wife is upstairs with the kids. They're watching Sandlot because that's what we do in July. And
that's a good choice.
I call her on the phone and I say, hey, Amanda, I'm thinking about wearing the shirt. And she knows exactly what I'm talking about. The shirt is blue, like bright royal blue with white flowers, 100% polyester. I bought this thing at Gadzooks back in the late 90s.
What?
That's right.
Dude, that I hadn't even thought of that.
I think of it every time I see that shirt.
20-something years.
Every time I see that shirt, smokes. I think of Gadzooks. And
does anybody remember Gadzooks out there?
Oh, they all remember. I bet they all remember.
You've got to at least be in your
nobody
mid-30s.
Nobody says anything about Gadzooks.
To remember what Gadzooks is.
John Mueller says it was before his time. John Mueller is with the They Didn't Ask Us podcast,
Give him
which
a shout
is
out, baby.
Pretty fantastic. We enjoy that one quite a bit. Anyway, Gadzooks, I spent about $1,000 on the shirt. Not really. I spent a lot of money. And so I feel like I need to wear it at every opportunity that I can. So I go upstairs and I have this on, and Amanda's like, "Why didn't you put that shirt on?" And I said, "Well, it's too loud." And she nodded her head like, "Yeah, of course it's too loud. That's what I tell you, not to wear it all the time." And I was like, "No, like it's literally too loud. Like it scrunches around when I'm moving, and it would pick up on the microphone." So so it's loud in a lot of ways.
I have a flowery shirt on. Can you see this, MeepleTown? Do you want me to get closer?
Lilacs. Is that?
I don't know what that is.
All right.
That was an on sale shirt. All right. So with that being said, do we need to jump into
the polls?
All right.
Jump into the deep end of the poll.
Now I think.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
now
good.
I think.
It's good.
I think that I said on the last podcast this would be the end of it, but then I realized there's no way I can get this many 80s movies in here at one.
We were dragging this out way too long.
I know, but next
months.
time it's going to be the end.
Remember the time that we talked about Dice Tower copying us? They were done like about a year ago.
Are they done?
I don't know. I have no clue, but I'm sure they are. It should take no one this long.
All right, so MeepleTown, those out there, I want you all. I'm going to tell you what the last two polls are, and I want y'all to also answer this with Dean. So I'm going to go for this one first.
All right.
It's not. I'm not going to say why. This is a heavy hitter, y'all. We were down to 8 movies. Empire Strikes Back versus Return of the Jedi. If you hear typing, that's Dean chatting with folks. So those who are listening to the podcast, if you get irritated by that.
John Mueller says Rambo First Blood Part 2. That was not, it didn't make the cut. Sorry. We did our top 32, right?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. Come on.
Okay.
Rogue One. Dang it.
I'm going to say.
Dang it, Greg.
Greg is not wrong. Thanks for coming out, Greg. He's not.
Are you telling me that you think Rogue One is better than
No, I'm not. But
I like Rogue One.
Rogue One is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not hating on it.
Matt
Ewoks
is loving
forever.
on the Ewok movie. Is that what he's?
Thanks,
my
Matt.
wife loves the Ewok movie.
Do you know which one? Why are you saying which Ewok? Are you?
No, the actual like Ewoks movie.
I got you. I'm with you. I thought you couldn't think of which
it's
Star Wars movie had the Ewoks.
Star Wars Christmas special. All right, now I know if Jonathan Mullins is here, he is the biggest Star Wars fan that I know, potentially.
Mueller's Empire. My wife is on there. Thanks, baby. Thanks, sweetie.
Right.
Return of the Jedi. Yes.
I think
Christmas special.
I think Return of the Jedi is going to be what they pick.
The winner.
And again, the winner. This is what MeepleTown picks.
All right, so Martin just did Empire Strikes Back. This is interesting because it looks like we have about 50-50, right? I don't know. Something like that.
On the live
on the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Not so on the Twitters. The winner won 69 to 31%. A landslide in what I thought would be pretty serious. Andrew Graham said Empire Strikes Back. So Empire Strikes Back is leaning that way. Dean guessed that it was going to be Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Took him down. Bow, bow, bow.
All right. Okay. I need to say something. If you listen to the podcast, consistently
bow kind of looked like a violent. Pew,
right.
pew, pew.
If you listen to the podcast consistently, you know that I'm right most of the time. Would you say that's accurate?
Almost spit my coffee
The spit take. There is no spit take here. I'm right most of the time when it comes to this. However, I beat John in more games when we're not in front of the camera than I do when we're in front of the camera. So put a camera on me and I'm going to miss it. So whatever I guess, it's going to be the opposite. I would say I like both of them a whole lot.
Mueller over there with the dad joke. John, we have chairs, not pews.
Pew. I like that. I like that.
There you go. I like it. All right. So the next one.
Greg agrees with me that I win most games.
I have the stats, and actually, I will say it was really even. But lately, Dean has been pulling ahead by winning a lot of games, and I do think I can't tell exactly in my stats because I can't just put me versus Dean. But in my app, he's about 50%, and we get beat by Jonathan a lot. So I'm guessing that he probably has beaten me a few times. Look at that! Look at him. Jonathan Mullins posting. Actually, I win the most.
You're not even here, Jonathan.
Stop bragging, Jonathan.
Which is okay. Jonathan's right. He is absolutely right. He wins most of the time.
He did.
I'm not arguing with that. Okay, second.
I don't want to
second set of movies.
That.
What we got?
The Breakfast Club. Look, versus the movie that we were stunned made it to the final 8. We're both still like,
Bill and Ted's
Excellent Adventure. So you have The Breakfast Club versus Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. What do y'all think?
This is the top 8. Is that right?
This is the top 8. We already have the final 2.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure has no reason being in the top 8 movies of the 80s.
I agree with that.
It is absurd.
I really like the movie.
If it wins, I am flipping the table. It did win, didn't it? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought that when you said that, I laughed. I thought you meant if it won like the whole thing, you would just go berserk.
Megan, is that right? You think that? Oh, you put the Breakfast Club. Okay, there we go. Everyone has put Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. I can't say Breakfast Club. Say that 4 times.
Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallions. Yeah, baby.
So Matt is the only one for Bill and Ted's.
Hey, you like what you like? You like what you like? Heavyweights. Okay. That's a 90s movie, John.
It is an excellent 90s movie.
Absolutely one of my favorite 90s movies. Absolutely.
I'm feeling skinny, Tony.
I love that movie. It is. My kids love it. We watch it so many times.
All right. I am going with my answer. I'm going to go with everyone else and say Breakfast Club. There is no way that it beat it 70% to 30%.
52 to 48% is how close this is.
Okay.
This was razor thin margins. And you know who's going to the final 4? Bill and Ted's the Wild Stallions are going to the final 4 80s movies of all time. This is insane, y'all. What's happening out there? What is happening in MeepleTown?
I think people are hearing me talk about
Flip the table.
I want to. I can't do it. It's ridiculous. That's all. I'm not.
I love Breakfast Club is amazing. Both of my movies just got shot down, by the way. I know people aren't going to agree with me. I like Return of the Jedi better than Empire Strikes Back. No hate on Empire Strikes Back. Fantastic film.
Rambo First Blood 2 should have won over that.
Yeah, Meg's saying not enough people are voting. That's probably true. That's it.
It could very well be the case. So you all that are on here in the chat now need to vote on our
at
Twitter.
MeepleTown Games.
Yes.
Twitter. So go on that. Follow us on that MeepleTown Games.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Party
to move
on, dudes. There you go, Matt.
I'm ready to move on from this.
Hey, real quick though.
Okay.
Anybody out there going to watch the new Bill and Ted's? Because I'm absolutely watching.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
There's no doubt about it. After all this talk, can't wait to see the new one. Actually.
Yeah, I'll for sure watch it. But it just has no business being a top 8 of all the 80s movies.
I agree with that, but I still like it though.
It's infuriating. It's almost as maddening as the fact that Goonies isn't even in it anymore, is it? Is Goonies gone?
You keep bringing up Goonies. What did I say? Goodies?
Goodies?
I got a don't touch me and give me goodies. I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm off in some other land filled with lots of goodies.
Goodies.
For the children.
Are we ready to move on? Goonies is the best 80s movie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is you bring that up every time and it lost the first round.
Yeah.
My broken heart. Okay,
then let's hear what the live people have to say is what is the best 80s movie.
Go ahead.
We're going to move on to the next thing, but we can
gotta say this best 80s movie ever. 80s. I can't talk.
Goonies is the best
80s movie.
That's right.
Ever. Come on.
That's me.
Hey,
I was like, I put that.
That's
somehow
right.
I wrote that.
Hey, you guys.
It is my wife on my account. I was like, it says Dean Dunning. Goonies is the best.
Amanda, by the way, I thought you were doing that. I'm like, what? What are you?
I went back to the future.
I thought you had both of your accounts up so that you can type as Dean. You can talk as Dean. You can type as Dean. That's pretty narcissistic, actually, isn't it? Ferris Bueller. You know, Natalie, I thought we had a chance with that one. That lost the first round, though.
Hey, you know how I was telling you, movie. I don't think we talked about this last time.
Princess Bride.
Talking about the, oh, goodness gracious.
Princess Bride made the final 8, by the way, Matt. Go ahead.
The Josh Gad videos. Reunited Together. We just watched the Ferris Bueller one from. It's fantastic. They're all so good. We really recommend those. I do. You've not seen them.
So for those who haven't, I haven't. So I'm seeing some comments here. The ones that are the final 4. This is it. We have the final 4 now. It is Raiders. So I'm reading this and I'm trying to say Return of the Empire Strikes Back. Wow.
Okay.
3 times took me. Empire Strikes Back. What was the other one we just did?
Wait. It's not Bill and Ted's.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Golly. That's just weird to say. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Back to the Future.
Okay.
So what's your favorite out of those?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is the greatest movie maybe of all time.
Princess Bride is not in here either. Somebody, I think Amanda said that.
But there's a ton of amazing movies. Yeah. Princess Bride lost last round. It made it to the final 8. It lost to Back to the Future, I think.
Yep.
Or Raiders of the Lost. It lost. Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Hey, how about we talk about some board games? We are a board game podcast. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. I'll start it off then. You ready for this?
15 minutes into it.
We'll talk about a game that John has not played.
We're going to get some of those bad, they write those things. What are those called? Reviews. And they're going to be like, oh, it took 15 minutes and 37 seconds to get to actually talking about board games.
Well, we do get those comments.
I know.
They're not wrong. Saying. They're not wrong, but we're not gonna give in. That's what we're not gonna do.
We don't back down.
No, we don't. All right. So the game that I have been playing lately is the Normally, this is where I would edit. I was trying to say the liberation of Riotburg, but it came out the liberation of Liotburg.
You have the box. You literally brought the boxes to show the world.
I do.
There you go.
All right. The liberation of Riotburg. And this is the next game in the Legends of Andor series. I think, not looking at it, I think it's like the 4th one in that series. I've only played the first and then this one. And in the
What is happening?
We can't edit this.
Every time the camera turns on, Dean gets flustered.
That is right.
And he loses everything.
That's right.
It is my favorite time in the world.
Ridiculous.
I love it.
All right, let's try this again. Liberation of Riotburg. Maybe I should have picked Root as my game to talk about. I cannot mess that up, right? Maybe. All right. This is a cooperative game. Pretty quick game. This is a midweight game. 2.5 out of 5. This is cooperative 2 to 4 player game where you are taking the role of one of the heroes and you are trying to liberate Riotburg. That's it. That's all you're trying to do. Okay, you each have cards in your hand. You play a card. It has several. It's multi-use cards.
Okay.
You play a card, take an action that you pick on there, and then it's the next player's turn. And what you're trying to do is you have 6 locations on the board, and at the bottom of the stacks of cards, and the cards are going to continue to pile up, kind of like a Forbidden Desert kind of thing. It's nothing like Forbidden Desert, but how like the sand piles up, on the tiles.
Yes, I do know that. Yep.
So cards are going to pile up on top of other cards, and you're trying to get down to the bottom by defeating monsters and picking up like cool weapons and things like that. And when you get down to the bottom, you can look at the bottom card, and then you have to complete that objective on there. There's 6 of those. If you complete 4 of those, you are the winner. If you get through the deck of narrative cards, which determines what cards are going to be flipped over and where they're going to go, then you lose.
Okay.
All right. That is super simple. I'm not going to go in much more detail because we got a lot of games to talk about.
That's right. So what did you think about it?
I like this one a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Legends of Andor is a game that I like quite a bit. And it's more of like a mathy cooperative game kind of thing. With this one, it's not so much. It feels, I don't know what this game feels like. Maybe like a cooperative, like Simplified Bruges. Maybe I don't know. That's probably
really
no, not really. But the multi-use cards, and the fact that you only have these cards in your hand. Now there is a slight element of deck building because you have these. You have these allies that you can get into your hand and they kind of help you, but it's really slight because you're only going to pick up maybe 2 or 3 of those at max throughout the game. But
is this out now?
Yes, this is out. This is a review copy that we got from Tames and Cosmos. And
if anyone's played this, chat it up. Tell us what
you think about I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Or if you like Indoor. Yeah, this just came out this year. And it's going to get a good score from me. I like it quite a bit. Now, it is on the simpler side. It's a midweight game, but it's on the simpler side. A quicker game, an easier game to play than regular Legends of Andor. But the cool thing is when you liberate Riotburg, that means you stop the dragon from getting in. However, if you lose, then the dragon comes and attacks the castle. And that's what the next phase of the game is going to be. So
this is what I love right now.
Okay.
Right now, we have friends of ours that don't normally probably listen to the podcast. They're on supporting us, and they're learning how big of nerds we are right now. Just the way that you're talking, like, you know what I mean? Like about these games. And I love that. Like, it's just like, I bet they're like, dude, these guys what are they? Dragons and all this kind of stuff. Yes. And we like it.
I didn't mean dragons. I meant something cooler than dragons. What's cooler than a dragon though, but let's get real.
Dang it, John. He said learning. That's good. He's good. He's quick. Learning that we're nerds. We already are nerds. All right.
Let's hear what you've been playing.
Hey, look at there.
Both of us.
Burford's on now.
All right.
Burford finally joined us.
Thanks, Stephen.
Hey, thanks for caring for us, Stephen. Stephen, we love Stephen. All right, so here's a game that Dr. Steve Finn sent over our way. The Little Flower Shop. Isn't that nice? Don't you like that box?
It is less cool than dragons, would you say?
This shows our personality. Dean's talking about like dragons, and I'm like, let's play the Little Flower Shop. Oh, yeah, the Little Flower Shop.
I like it.
Okay, so if you don't, for some of you folks on there, if you ever play Biblios, we also did Cosmic Run Regeneration. Those are Dr. Finn games. He is a great designer. So he sent us the Little Flower Shop. This is a gateway intro to card drafting type game. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes.
So in this, you have a flowered like display. It's really, really kind of cool. And you're getting vases. You're filling them with flowers, but you have to have specific type of flower and stuff that's on the vase, and you're going to get scored. Do you say vase or vase?
Vase.
The world needs to know.
Well, I mean, classy, it's vase for sure.
But do you say that?
No, I say vase.
Okay. So anyway,
if I was classy, I would say vase.
You have to match those. You have hanging baskets and different things like that. But really, you're just drafting cards and just trying to score points by making a beautiful flower shop. And it's 3 rounds, 7 cards each round. It plays lickety split. What do you think about it, Dean?
This is a fun game. Yeah. I was a little nervous about the small cards. I typically don't like the tiny cards in drafting games.
Dean likes big cards.
I like normal standard size cards is what I like. And that does not have it. However, because of the size of each player's board and
his other brothers can't deny.
Okay. Are you done?
Who knows?
Because of the size of the board and how the cards are laid out for it to look nice, you can't really have full-size cards in this. But I think this is a lot of fun. It really shocked me. It's not a theme that really necessarily draws me in like dragons do. Or do you say dragons or dragons?
Who says dragons?
I'm saying if you say vase, maybe you say dragons. Maybe there's another way of saying it. Or wervens? What is the word that John said on there? I don't know that word. Wyvern.
I guess if I say strength instead of strength, anyone can say anything, huh?
It's not dragons, but it is a lot of fun. I think it's really cool. And then when you get done, you look at the board and you think, wow, that's a great looking like tableau piece that I've set up. And I think it's got a lot of good table presence, especially for a card game.
That's one of my favorite things about it is a lot of times you're playing these drafting games and like 7 Wonders and stuff, which I much prefer. But I'm just saying like you playing these drafting games and you just kind of see a bunch of cards laying out on the table. Here it like is a beautiful display at the end of the game, and you actually feel like, wow, look at my flower shop. It looks nice.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun one.
I thought it was good. I'm not gaga. I think Dean likes it more than I do. I think it's good for what it is. Great intro to card drafting game. Yeah.
He has not missed for me, I don't think. I've only played 3 of his games now, and they've been really good. I've enjoyed all of Dr.
This
Finn's
is my
games.
least favorite of his, I think, even though I was really excited about the theme of this game. I don't know. I wanted to have a game about making a flower shop, but I still like it though. It's still a solid game. It was probably my least favorite out of those 3.
Yeah. Fun times. Good times. We'll have videos for both of those here in the next, I don't know, maybe a week or 2, but be looking for those to check out the gameplay. All right, now is the time where we transition and move on to our first review, which is going to be
with y'all too.
Viticulture.
Viticulture, here we go now. Gonna make some wine. Gonna drink some wine. Gonna sip some wine with my girl, hey. With my girl, hey. Hey.
Help me. All right, let's talk about viticulture. You want to pull out viticulture so we can see that? Specifically, we're talking about Viticulture Essentials Edition, which is actually the only edition I think you can get now. I don't have Viticulture.
And I'm talking about. Sorry, Dean, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
I was gonna say I'm talking about Tuscany too, yo.
Yeah. So if you're gonna pull out that, so Viticulture, I'll just throw out some things on this one. It came out in 2015. It's a little bit of an older game. Plays 1 to 6 players. In Viticulture, this is a basic worker placement game. You're gonna start off with your 2 regular workers, and well, some of that can change. Mainly, you're going to start off with 2 regular workers and a grande, and then you're just going to be placing your workers onto the board to plant your vines. You're going to do lots of things. You're going to harvest your fields. You're going to make wine. You're going to sell wine. You're going to do lots of different things with wine. And with
you're making and selling wine.
Yeah, you're
That's
running
that's the simple.
You're running your own
Running a winery.
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 Running a winery. And then with Tuscany, it just adds more of that. We'll talk about that, but that's the gist of the game, because we're going to be talking about your thoughts. We're going to be talking about our thoughts. So we want to make sure that we can kind of keep these pretty concise, which is why we picked some games that a lot of people might have played before. So
that's what we did. We wanted to do games that hopefully a lot of y'all have played. If you haven't played Viticulture out there, it's a great intro to worker placement game. One of the best, maybe. It depends on the theme. Like, I love the theme of running my own winery. I just think that's a fantastic thing. So it sucked me in big time. The first time I played this, I was just completely blown away.
Yeah.
So that's and if you don't like that theme, it's still it's a solid game no matter what.
If you like Liberation of Reitberg, right? So if you like that, then a Lords of Waterdeep theme might be something that grabs you a little bit more.
Yeah.
That being said, I think you're absolutely right. This is super entry level worker placement. But until you add Tuscany, and then Tuscany adds a lot more to it. And it's not that it's what's the weight on this game?
It's almost a 3, Dean. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, you say
2.92.
We're saying entry level, but it's not like, we're not talking about a super simple game to play.
I think this one gets a lot of people into worker placements. That's this. I don't think this one is as popular as like Lords of Waterdeep, for example, or maybe not even as popular as. It's probably as popular as like a Stone Age, which is another kind of more entry level. But it's got some complexity to the base game itself. But then when you add in Tuscany, that's even quite a bit more complexity. But but not like over the top.
That's right.
Say that.
We got some comments down there. It's closer to your eyeballs.
Oh boy. Okay. What people say about Viticulture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So give us your comments. We're going to rate these games, and we want you all to as well. So don't only give your comments. Let's get some MeepleTown ratings. We do the Board Game Geek scale, a scale 1 to 10. If you don't know the way that they do the scale, then I'm going to pull it up for you right now.
He's not going to read all of them. Google it. I mean, you can probably figure it out. 1 to 10, 10 being the best, right? Is that?
I mean, you can, but I'm just saying.
Viticulture from Andrew Graham. Do you want to hear what he has to say about it?
Yep.
Andrew gave it a 7.5 or 7 out of 10. Excuse me, 7.0 out of 10. He says, I only have a few plays of this one, and definitely may grow on me, but hasn't quite lived up to the hype for me, at least at 2 players. I find it enjoyable, and it's a beautiful game, but the luck factor, particularly with these certain visitor cards, is maybe a little higher than I'd like. And I don't feel like I'm constantly making really interesting decisions. Do you disagree with that?
No, I don't totally disagree with that. I don't at all, actually.
I don't.
So Tuscany helps with this, I think, because with the Tuscany expansion, it's not just winter and it's not just 2 seasons, whatever they are. It's 4 seasons, and you get more cards too, based on your order. So when you pick your order, you might actually get a yellow card and a purple card or whatever. So there's more chances, I think, to get more cards or whatever. So
okay, I'm going to go ahead and say this. We've talked about it in a podcast in the past. It is difficult for me to fully talk about Tuscany because we're talking about 2 separate things. So John has Viticulture Essential Edition and then Tuscany Essential Edition. I have the original like Kickstarter version of both of those.
It's a little different.
And yeah, so when I started talking about, we didn't know this until we were recording one time. I started talking about what was in Tuscany. I was like, yeah, the one that makes cheese. And you're like, what? There's no right. Cause right in the Essential Edition,
no, you're right.
There's not one where you're cheese making. The cheese making part of that is not, it doesn't need to be in there. It's totally fine. You're not missing out on, you get cow meeples.
You make plenty of cheese as it is.
That's right. That's right.
It's utterly ridiculous.
All right, so, but there are some differences in there. But when you add Tuscany, you add in the structures, which allow for different buildings than just the main buildings.
I like the
structures. It might be my favorite part of the expansion, potentially.
Yeah, it is. I think it is mine.
What else?
A little engine building there as well.
What else?
It adds a
little stars.
Map. It adds the stars map that you can put, which is, I think it's cool. It's not great, but it is. I think it just adds with adding those several little things that ups that complexity level that I think is really good. Andrew, yeah. Do you think Tuscany's worth it with 2 players? I play it with 2 players all the time. So yeah.
I don't think it changes. Okay, no.
I would much rather play with Tuscany.
I'm sorry. With more people is what I meant. With more people, the biggest change are the circles. So when you place your worker in those later spots, then you can get extra bonuses.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a little more interesting with more people, but I still think that 2 players the way I play it most of the time.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. Let's get some other ones. We got Molly giving it a 7 out of 10. Okay. Not bad. Burford dropping the 4 bomb on it. 4 out of 10.
Okay, so I know Steven very well. Steven is one of my closest friends in the entire world. Steven and I really enjoy Lords of Waterdeep, and I would imagine he has that pretty high.
He put that on that he.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I see it on here now. And I'm with Steven. I definitely prefer Lords of Waterdeep with expansion material with it, but I still think Viticulture is good. Here's my issue with it, John. It's gone down. Like I don't enjoy it as much as I used to, but I still really like it. I lost my notebook here where I have my scores written down because I think we can talk about our scores. Can we do that?
Was it that hard to remember 5 scores?
Yeah, actually, it totally is. I had a good joke that I was going to say at the beginning of the episode, and I totally forgot that. So I should have written it down. Oh, man.
You plan your jokes?
It's going to be really good. It's gone, though. It'll come to me, I'm sure.
Well, while you're looking yours up, I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Okay.
Real quick. I think it's an absolutely fantastic intro to worker placement game. I absolutely love the theme. I think it's just a blast to pretend. Like something that I've quite enjoyed doing was going to little wineries and like listens to stories of people tell why they started their winery and stuff. I like that. I just think it's fun. I love learning new things about people and why they decided to do this winery and their grandfather started it. I think that's great. So it kind of puts me in there. So the theme is just like, I just love it. But I agree that it has over the years has just slowly kind of fallen for me a little bit. I think it was on my top 50 last year, and I still think it will be potentially. It's probably bubble. I don't know, man. Maybe it's off. I'm giving it 8 out of 10.
Okay.
A very solid 8. And I almost said 8.5. I was really close to going 8.5 out of 10 on this.
You're including Tuscany in that.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm really sad to give it 8 out of, like, I wish there was, I wish we had the quarter score sometimes, Dean. Wish I could give it 8.25.
All right.
Really solid 8 out of 10. I still thoroughly enjoyed this.
I don't know if that speaks much louder. I'm actually right on the same exact page as you on this one. And so I probably sounded a little negative about it when I said it's gone down a little bit. That's because it used to be like a 9 for me. I mean, I played this game a lot. And I on occasion play solo games and kind of, well, okay, now I'm way into nerd territory, right? Like there's no coming back now. But when I play this one solo, I think it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of Stonemaier games.
My board games by myself because I don't have any friends.
Sometimes people won't play games with me.
Hey, I do the same
because
thing.
I win all the time except against Jonathan. But that's not at all true, by the way. I lose most of my games except against John. But I really enjoy this one. It's still an 8 for me, which is it's really solid.
Yeah, I like it.
I really enjoy Tuscany. It's definitely my preferred way to play this, but I'm okay with playing Viticulture just base game as well. With Mamas and Papas, I think mine doesn't have Mamas and Papas. It's included in Tuscany, but it's not in the base game. But with Essential Edition, it is in there. So I want to play with Mamas and Papas, and I kind of like the map, but I don't have to have it,
Do you listen to the Mamas and Papas while you pick your Mamas and Papas?
No.
That would be epic.
It'd be pretty good.
Let's do it. All right, we got to keep rolling. We're 30 minutes into this bad boy. We've got 1 down.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Well, I mean, like a lot of talk of nonsense, too. You can't forget that. Small World. How about that? Small World is a game designed by Felipe Chiarts. And I'm going to mention the artist. I didn't mention the artist on Viticulture. Sorry about that. Actually, or the designer for that matter. That's Jamie Stegmaier, and the Jacques Davis is one of the artists.
And Beth Sobel. Don't forget old Beth.
For Viticulture. Sorry about that. Absolutely. And then David Montgomery. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the right place. Okay, Small World is art is by Miguel Coimbra, which is somebody I really enjoy. The game looks fantastic. You're not holding it up anymore.
I really like his game.
Cyril Darjon is the other artist. And this is a Days of Wonder game, one of their not earlier games, but it's still pretty old. Like it's 11 years old, 2009. It's pretty old, right? This was out before I was really, really into the hobby.
Born. Oh.
Okay. In Small World, you are going to be starting off. You're going to have this map set up, and it's area control. So you're trying to control as many territories as you can because that's how you're going to get your victory points or coins.
Yeah.
So what you do is you take your stack of characters from your race and your special power. You're going to have 2 different tiles. Those are going to be mixed up, and you're going to have a race with a special power. And then,
so every game can be there's that
totally different.
Totally different because you have different races matching up with different powers. Yeah,
that's right. There's a lot of variability in that for sure. You're going to take your stack of cardboard for that race, and you're going to be placing it on the board. And it's 2 tiles per territory plus however many pieces of cardboard that are in there. So you're going to be trying to knock out other players. You're going to be going into empty territories, but then at the end of your turn, however many territories you control, you're going to get a coin per territory.
Yeah.
And then whatever else rule changes are in there. Like I say 1 coin per territory, but more often than not, it's going to be more than that.
Like you might have an extra coin for every farmland you control.
That's right.
For the zone. Yeah.
That's right. So that is Small World. Now there's
your wife just said she enjoys it.
She loves it. I've had her write some things down that I was going to read.
Hey, my wife, if you're out there still, can you give me your rating on Viticulture? I know you get nervous about rating things. Put your money where your the table is. What?
I think when you started singing, maybe that's when she
jumped off. Oh, I didn't do a song for Small World, and I'm not.
It's a Small World. Now we'll get kicked off for sure. Right.
That's right.
Okay, Small World. There's a ton of stuff to this game, by the way. There's Small World, there's Small World Underground, Sky Lands, River. There's mini expansions galore. Lots of stuff. What do you think of Small World?
Well, here's the thing. This was kind of fun. Dude, Jay Mullins has never played Small World. That is crazy.
Okay. I thought I played with Jonathan, but he was not there that night. Wow. I remember this years ago, early on in when I was in this hobby.
I'm going to answer Chuck's question here about it. He's got the app. I have the app as well, and I have, of course, the physical copy that I just pulled up. So the app's brilliant. I love the app for Small World. I almost always like the physical copy better, though. That's just my style. It's occasionally I like an app better if it's like a really fast game that I can just play in a few minutes. Like that's pretty clever. I probably like having the app better, besides that though, I like the physical copy, but I still love the app.
We did a top 10 digital apps, app board games, app implementations of board games.
What other kind of apps are there? Except
let me keep talking and eventually I'll get it. So we did a top 10 list. This was in my top 10 of those digital games. The app is fantastic. I will say this, it has the base game and then you can also get the 3 of the mini expansions, but it doesn't have Underworld. What is it called?
I don't remember.
Literally just played it last night.
Steven just said, guys, strike 2 for me. Not a fan of this either. So if there's strike 3, what's going to happen? Steven, what are you threatening to do? I want to know. While you're looking that up, or
I was going to say when Jonathan talked about not playing it, it was Steven was there that night that I thought Jonathan was. Steven had a bad time on that game. If that's the only time you've played, I don't know if you played it other times. You need to play it again, I think. It was a bad experience.
Wow. So here's my thought. It was really fun. I got to bring out Small World last night for the first time in a while.
We both played last night.
Quite a while. My cousin Seth was over, and he doesn't play board games. He recently went to Florida, and he called me. He was like, hey, my friend said, we're going to play this game called Ticket to Ride. Do you know what that is? And, of course, yes. And then he wanted me to rate it and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. He loved Ticket to Ride. I thought, let's play Small World. That's fun. We can mix it up. I mean, if you don't like conflict and you get your feelings hurt easy, Small World's probably not the game for you. He didn't mind all that.
Yeah. It depends on who you're playing with. Some people don't, you have to attack other people. But you don't have to do it super heavy. Like if everyone's kind of doing their own thing, I don't think that's the optimal way to play or even the fun way to play.
Yeah.
But if you all are okay with that, it's fine, but you're still always going to attack each other at least a little bit.
In Small World, you have to play the fine line between when to attack and when to kind of, if I can carve off this little side of the map and let's not fight each other, I can get a lot of points potentially. If you're always just attacking everybody, you will lose the game. My son did that last night. And I was like, you are playing this terribly. Like, dude, go into decline. You're attacking me with 6 guys. You got to, and he didn't listen. And his score was the worst score I've almost ever seen. But I like Small World. It's a great entry level game to area control. It's a very fun game. It's in my collection. And I don't know if it will ever leave my collection, but I'm not going to give it a super high score.
This one is ranked overall. I've got a few comments on here that I'll read in just a second. This one is ranked 236 overall. The Underworld is ranked lower than that. Let's see, it's 377, which is still 377 out of 100 something thousand games listed on here. And the weight of the original was 2.36 out of 5, meaning like that's how difficult it is to play.
Yeah.
2.58 on Underground. That's right. But Underground is heavier. But the thing I kind of like and kind of don't like, so it adds these special powers per territory. So if you have a control over this territory, you get this special ability within that territory. It can be really thinky because you have to think, okay, I have this territory, but I don't control it anymore, so I don't get that special ability. So it can add a little bit of that. But I still think it's fun. I kind of prefer the original, I think, but I haven't played Underground nearly as much. I have a bunch of this stuff. Like, it will not fit in 2 boxes. It's
we're on the edge of our seat now. Like, I am. I'm not kidding. I want to know what you want to rate this thing, man.
We're not ready for that. Peter Schott says,
you ready? Money on the table.
Peter Schott gives it a 7.5 out of 10. How about that? I enjoy the game.
Yep.
We only have the base game plus a couple of smaller expansions for it, but the area control, special powers, variation of those powers, and the fact that you never you're never out of the game, even if even if it looks like it, right? I think that's true because you also keep your victory points hidden in this one, and so you never really know where somebody's at. You can I guess math it out, but it would be difficult, I think.
Yeah,
right?
but if someone is getting a point or two regularly over the other players, they've got to be significantly.
If somebody's blowing people out of the water, yes.
But here's the thing, though. Good thing about Small World is people might get offended, but I need to go, hey, Dean, Larissa, my wife is killing us. Let's destroy her.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can come back and beat her.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it. I really like that about it.
And again, you have to have the right crowd to play this.
My wife commented. She still won't comment about viticulture.
Almost too simple.
You
guys might like Underground. Then Underground it has more to it.
Wow.
But there's still the base mechanic is the same. All right. Small World for Andrew Graham. This used to be, I'm gonna do one more because my wife said something about this. This used to be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
And was my favorite board game when I was first getting into the hobby. The idea that each game, the pair of powers and races were different really excites me. And I still want to try more of the expansions in Underground. The only problem is that I have with it now is that you really need players to have similar experience levels with the game for it to shine. Yeah, I agree with that. Because if you really know the races and powers, you can look at it and say, okay, this one's going to be better than the other ones. You have to pay for it to move up, but you still, it could be worth it for you.
Our game last night wasn't even close.
I'm going to tell you about my game in just a second.
It wasn't even close. And that was why, because I had played this game way more than everybody else. I knew which ones were the best, and it kind of was unfair,
I will say this too. I don't think anybody's asked this one, but I think the game scales well, even though I prefer to play it at a higher player count. This is through 5 players, but I still think at 2 players it's good because it gives you a different board that plays on 2 players. Okay, Servilium. I have everything for Small World and have spent many hours with it. It just never makes it to the table anymore. Debating about whether to keep it.
Lots of space.
It is a lot of space. That's a lot of stuff. So 6.5 out of 10 on that one.
Makes sense.
All right, my wife, she didn't give a rating on this one, but she likes the variety of the characters and how they all go together, right? She likes the simplicity of the mechanisms in the game, which I agree with her on this. And because you have quick turns, you do what you need to do. It's real fast. You can come back to the table and take your next turn or whatever. And it's a good option for family game night. So I'm with her on that.
Yep.
Now
that's very true.
She dislikes, especially because we played Underground. This was her first time playing Underground, and we had to refer back to the sheet a lot to know what all of everything did, and so that can be an issue if you don't know the game very well. So I get that. I'm with her. That's all I'm going to add to it. I'll say the exact same things that my wife said. I'm going to rate this really high.
Wow.
It's in my top 50.
Wowzers.
If you watch our video from last year. And I understand why people don't like this and probably think that I'm weird for rating this so high, but I think it's a lot of fun. So I give it's hot. John, turn the air off. It's
stifling in here. I turned the air off, y'all, because I don't want that noise, but I think it's on again. So I might as well just crank that sucker
You turned the heat on is what you did. All right. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Whoa.
Yeah. But a lot of that, it has to do with nostalgia for me too. I've played this game a bunch, and this was and sometimes continues to be, even though again it's not optimal at 2.
I'm turning the air down.
That's fine. I'll just keep talking.
Keep going.
Again, it's not optimal at 2, but it is one that my wife and I go to a lot. We both enjoy playing this one because we know it pretty well and we can just pull it out and play it pretty quickly. Chuck Wade says, ready for it? 6 out of 10. I'd like to try the physical copy. It would probably be higher. Maybe Chuck. I think that the player interaction is fun. I always think physical copies are going to be better. Not always. Gone Chun Clever is the exception there.
No, there's some other ones maybe.
That's true. And I don't even love that game anyway. But yeah, if you don't love the app version of the game, I don't know if you're going to love the physical copy of this one.
Yeah,
I might be
wrong.
Not
sure either. So here's my thoughts on it. I agree with the statement earlier made that was when I first got into the hobby. This was one of those games. So this was how many years ago? 11 years ago. This was right when I was like, had Catan, I had Ticket to Ride, I had Puerto Rico. I picked this game up and loved it. I mean, this was probably one of my favorites for a little while back then. And it's still a fun game. I had a fun time playing it last night. This is tough for me because a 7 out of 10 on the BGG scale says usually willing to play.
It's quite the side.
And I don't think I'm usually willing to play this, Dean.
Okay.
It depends on how you take that statement. I'm usually willing to play anything. You know what I mean? But
that's true.
But there's so many other games I would rather play than this game, even though I think it's a really good game for what it is. 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. Wow, that was really dramatic. Maybe
I wanted it to be a 7, but I'm not going to do it because I can't say I'm usually willing to play this.
Yeah. I'm not usually willing to play this with everybody. I'll say that. It's not one that I really introduce a lot of people to, but it's one that because my wife and I love it so much, I'm good.
Excellent. A 9 out of 10 is excellent. Always enjoy playing it.
I do. I always enjoy playing this game.
So before we move to the next game, my wife actually rated Viticulture 8 out of 10. Thank you, baby sweetie. Perfect rating.
Baby sweetie?
Baby sweetie.
Ugh.
Perfect rating.
All right.
I have not played Sky Islands.
I want to make one more comment. There's a new implementation of this coming out. If you love World of Warcraft, which I'm not a big World of Warcraft person, there is a small World of Warcraft.
I'm actually hype about that.
This is going to rejuvenate this game. There are a lot of people pumped about this. I don't know the video game at all, actually. So I'm not going to rush out and get this one, but I'm excited because I think a lot of people are going to this is going to grab a lot of people and bring them into the hobby. That's what I think.
I got out of games right when World of Warcraft started getting hype. So
you literally do a game podcast.
I'm talking about video games. You said World of Now I played Warcraft. So there you go.
Is that the same thing? I don't know what Warcraft is.
No.
Okay.
Warcraft was a strategy game, real-time strategy game. Then World of Warcraft is a whole land. I used to play EverQuest. So any EverQuesters out there? Anybody used to play EverQuest back in the day?
I vaguely remember that.
It was so amazing. Anyway, we need to
move on to our next review, which is Agricola by John's favorite board game designer.
Boom!
Uwe Rosenberg.
Agricola.
Do you want to give a rundown of this one since you're about to go crazy?
Wash my sheep. Oh, I'm gonna pluck my sheep.
Washing sheep is not part of this game.
You're gonna shear my sheep. Hey, that's what I'm gonna do.
You want to give a rundown of this game? I can tell you this game.
Just like when Charles Minor told Jim to give him a rundown. Can you be more specific on what? Oh, if you would have spit your coffee, that would have been epic. Oh, that was so close. That was so close.
I don't know. Just give me a rundown, Jim. It's not that difficult.
Whoa, Jonathan hasn't played Agricola. Okay. Oh my gosh. And Jonathan, we're talking about a guy who has, Jonathan, how many games do you have? Tell us. Like 300, 400? I mean, ridiculous amounts of games.
I can tell you exactly. I can look it up. I will not.
Yeah, he'll type it in there. Right. No problem. He doesn't mind bragging about himself. I love Jonathan. All right. So anywho, so in Agricola, it's like a lot of Uwe Rosenberg games. If you've ever played any, you're going to basically take a meeple. It's a worker placement. You're going to put a meeple or a disc, I guess depends on what version of this you have, out on the board. And you're just going to simply do what it says. You're going to plow fields. You're going to get sheep. You're going to wish for children and make babies in this game. You're going to build fences, and you're going to raise hogs and all this kind of stuff. You also, at the beginning of the game, though, get cards, which is one of the most interesting parts of the game, I believe, is you can either do a drafting way to get your cards drafting, or you can just be given random like 7 occupations and 7 minor improvements cards that give you special abilities and stuff throughout the game. What's really cool about those are they're all different. So every time you play this game, that part of it is totally different. And then the way that the actions open up over the course of the game, you don't have all the worker placement spots at the beginning. It's roughly the same every time. I mean, it's roughly the same. Like you have in stage 1, there's 4 different cards that could come out, and they're going to come out in the first 4. And so that changes, and that adds some variability to it as well. But yeah, that's good. Let's get your thoughts on Agricola.
All right. I like Agricola. Agricola is one of those that I got around probably the same time that I picked up Small World. I think I picked this one up, I guess, maybe 2012, 2013. And I played it with my wife, and we were both pretty new to the hobby. And you can play the which I think is called the family version now, where you don't have the cards. You can play that. I think that's originally how we played it. Played it with my friend Kenneth a couple times, and then got rid of this game.
Kenneth King?
Kenneth King, that's right. That's right. Kenneth King and I played this a couple times, and okay, I like Agricola, but
Wow.
I don't love Agricola. And let me tell you why. I don't like negative things to happen in games. Small World's okay. I love to attack people. In Agricola, you lose points if you don't specialize in everything.
Well, if you don't stink, you should lose points.
If you don't specialize in every animal, if you don't specialize in the different types of farming, you're going to lose points in all those things. And I don't like to be pigeonholed, right? I don't want the game to hold me down.
You want to do what you want to do. And if you want to raise sheep, you're going to raise a crap ton of sheep.
That's what I want to do. And you can get a lot of points that way. And the thing is, and you have to feed your workers. And if you don't feed your workers, it's really stressful because you a lot of it. This is why a lot of people who don't like this game. A lot of people don't like it because of feeding the workers, because it is such a stressful game, especially as the game goes on later. If you don't have somewhat of a good food engine, which probably you will.
You have to,
But if you don't, especially if you've only played this game once or twice, then you don't have much time to get food, and it's super frustrating. So you have to play this one a decent amount to feel like you're accomplishing anything.
I did pretty bad the first several times I played this game, I remember. So I like a game, Dean.
A different Jonathan Staw said, I like Agricola's shackles.
Yes.
A lot of people do.
I'm about to say that.
Okay.
I like a game that bends me over and slaps my bottom.
What?
I do.
This is a live episode. We cannot edit that out.
I like a game that slaps my bottom. I like a tough game. I like a game that is brutal a lot of times. Now, Aquasphere, we talked about that on the last podcast. It wasn't, I still 7.5 out of 10. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. This game.
Aquasphere doesn't do that though. Like this.
You're right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about feeding your family. First of all, it's ultra thematic. Because think about this, Dean. If you have a farm, what's the number one thing you're going to do with your with it? Why do you have a farm? What's the number one thing you're going to do with a farm?
You're going to, well, it depends on what kind of farm you have, right?
Okay, I'm talking about back in Agricola time.
Okay, you're going to get food
for your family.
Okay,
that's why it's super thematic. Like that's what I was thinking about. This is so thematic because it is difficult to feed your family, but it should be because it's thematic. When you have a farm, you got to feed your kinfolk.
I don't disagree with the fact that I think this is super thematic.
Okay,
I totally agree with that.
All right, so on top of that, I love how the worker placement spots are so tight in this game. Like you're sitting there going, first of all, you only have 2 workers, so you have to absolutely make good choices or you will get hosed in Agricola. And when other people are taking those spots, or when you finally get the spot that you want, you're like, yeah, I got it, man. I just got 6 wood and I'm going to make so many fences with this,
Yeah.
And it just feels great.
Yeah. I don't dislike this game. And
I know.
And I get why people love this game. And every time, and you'll say this again to me now, every time we talk about Agricola and I say that I don't love it and I got rid of it. Now I got rid of it because I picked up Brewcrafters, which is for me the better game. But again, that's for me.
Never played it.
And that's fine. You will. I actually have it sitting right there, but it's under stuff, so I'm not going to get it out right now. But I would rather play Brewcrafters because it gives me kind of that same feel without being so restrictive and without making me focus on something. I mean, you're focused on brewing beer, but other than that, like I don't have to do all these all these different things to kind of keep this level playing field.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I also want to say before I give my rating, I love the card play in this game. You have to play to the cards that you get. It sounds like something's taken off outside.
Somebody weed eating? It's like 9 o'clock at night. What in the world?
But you have to play those cards right. You absolutely have to do that. And I like drafting the cards is just brilliantly fun. I like that aspect of it. My wife does not like this game that much. We played it on Monday night or Tuesday night. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. She hasn't played the drafting card version. I think she should, and that'll make it a whole lot better. I'm giving this, Dean, this is my relationship with Agricola. Let me just do this, then I'm going to give you my rating. I first played it back a while ago. Quite enjoyed it. Then for some reason, it started taking a dip. I don't really know what it was. I feel like I just didn't get it. Then all of a sudden, Dean, it started rising. It was like a glorious sunrise. I love this game. I love how tight it is. 9 out of 10. Boom.
Okay. I get it. I mean, there's no surprise from anyone in the
10.
entire world because Uwe is your favorite. Agricola might be his best. I mean, I know a lot of people would say like Feast for Odin. So a lot of people like Caverna better, but there's a ton of people who are like diehard Agricola.
I love Agricola.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. I like Caverna better for those out there, and I like a Feast for Odin better, and I like Le Havre better. That tells you how ridiculously much I like
when
those
we do our
games.
top 50. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
We'll do Uwe, and then we'll get to the other designers. No, I'm just kidding. Pfister's great. Feld's great. Anyways.
Yeah. So Jonathan did pipe up and said Brewcrafters is good. It's about a 7.5 for me. I think Jonathan, you probably would like Agricola better than Brewcrafters. There are a ton of people that would. Jonathan Saw said that he has Brewcrafters and he needs to play it, but he also said he loves Agricola. And
you might have just been putting words in his mouth.
They're two different games, but they give you like there's a lot of similarities. You cannot deny the impact that Agricola had on the designers of Brewcrafters. I don't want to keep talking about that.
Are we talking about Agricola or Brewcrafters?
I want to talk about Brewcrafters. Just kidding.
You just cracked it a little bit.
I like Agricola. It's tough. And again, it's not that I haven't played this game enough. I've played this game a lot, but I'll put it at a 7 because it's not one that I always want to play. But if you say, hey, let's play Agricola, I'll play it, but I'm probably not going to suggest it. Like, it's not in that territory where I'm going to like jump out of my seat to play Agricola. I like it, don't love it.
I will.
But it's a fun game, and I totally get why people absolutely love this game.
Yep.
A lot of people could have it as their only game, and that would be totally fine with them.
The app is nice, too.
Yeah, the app is really good. It was in my list as well.
Yep.
Now, we're not going to go on to the next game, John.
Oh,
It's pick 6 time. We need to break this up.
Yeah.
Are you ready for pick 6?
You're probably right about that. Yep. Let's do it. We're going to play a game with MeepleTown.
We're going to play a quick game of pick 6. We're going to try to keep this really quick, unlike our reviews so far.
Pick 6.
Okay,
Here
so
we go.
John picked up.
Pick 6,
John
girl,
picked
come
3 questions. All right, you ready? John picked 3 questions. I picked 3 questions. We threw it out to the guild. That's Board Game Geek Guild number 3407. We asked the guild to fill out these forms, and we're going to see who gets the most points.
Kind of Family Feud style. And Jonathan, I think that Fields of Arle is fantastic as well.
Fields of Arle is the best out of those you listed.
For Dean. Not for me, but they're really close. I think I rated it an 8.5, and I love it. So anyways.
Arla.
All right.
Arle.
Most career pick 6s. Hey, Jonathan, that's good, John Mueller. Pick 6.
I got you.
Did you think about that whenever you did that?
Ed Reed. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you sport or not. I was kidding. I know you do.
Okay.
You love the Detroit Lions.
I do. I just had the t-shirt on in the Spirit Island video that's going to come out soon.
So what's going to happen here
is
Dean's going to ask me a question. We did a Family Feud style poll. I'm going to answer, but MeepleTown, y'all out there are going to answer as well. So I score points based on if I get it, and you help me score points, and then turn back around and do the same for Dean. So y'all, you got to help me score some points here. All right. You got that? I don't get to have the audio feedback that I want. Like, yeah.
All right.
Ask my question.
I want you to ask first because I have to pull up a list for you. I think I'm pretty sure for my first
Dean.
Question. All right.
The first question is for Dean, and y'all go ahead and start typing away. What is the ideal board collection size, Dean? And here's the thing. I said increments of 100. And I know some people, you can give an answer that's less, that says one answer is going to be less than 100. Okay.
Okay.
So an answer can
just
be less
one.
than,
Okay, that's good to know.
it can be less than 100. So out there, y'all, and one of the answers can be less than 100 or 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 13, and
Okay.
1,400 and 1,500.
Okay. I think we got it. All right. So the ideal, and there's no options in this. We're just going, these were short answers.
That's right. And the reason I did increments of 100 is because I thought if it was like 50 or 25, Lord, you'd have so many choices. You know what I mean? Yeah. Martin's actually, yeah. Okay. So you got.
All right. Steven says less than 100. Martin
150.
Lawson says 150.
Do it. Y'all do it in increments of 100, but I agree 100% with Martin personally.
Larissa says 200. All right.
That's my I want to keep it at 150. All right.
Chuck Wade says 100. Okay.
All right.
Jonathan Saw says I have 200. I think I'm going to go ahead and answer. Okay. I got this. All right. I think 200 is actually what I was going to pick in my mind anyway. So I'm going to say 200.
So here's the thing. Do you want to just do one answer all with MeepleTown? Or do you want to let them answer one? Let's just go all with MeepleTown. You make the call if you want to go with MeepleTown or not. One answer to this question. Let's roll the dice. Let's get some more serious.
Yeah, I thought
there's no two answers to this.
One more, Jonathan Mullins says. That's exactly right.
All right. So with that being said, you get
satisfied.
2 points if you guess the number 1 answer, 1 point if you guess the number 2 answer, 0 points if you don't. Dean goes with 200. It is the number 2 answer.
Bull. It's the number 1 answer.
It's the number 2 answer, y'all. So Dean gets 1 point. Can you write 1 point? Do you have something to write with?
I don't.
With your blood.
I can. I have a phone.
Prick your finger.
Okay. Yeah, I'd much rather use a pen.
Yeah.
Old man Dean.
Okay.
Right.
And so I do want to say that there were some folks that did have some interesting comments on here, like however many my wife will let me have. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And someone else put as many as you play. That's actually a really good answer to that, even though, we said increments of 100, but that's good, right?
That's right.
As many as you actually play, keep them in your collection.
There we go.
Woo.
All right.
There we go.
Now, my question. You ready for this?
Yep. So you have 1 point. All right.
This is going to be
all right, MeepleTown, help me out.
This might be your hardest one, maybe. What is your favorite? Come on, as in
oh
mini or not?
Gosh. You're gonna ask specific questions if people don't. Go ahead.
What is your favorite come on game not named Blood Rage, which made it even more difficult for you? I think I'm out to win, John. We are gamers, and I plan to win. So let us know what you think. Maybe not necessarily what your favorite come on game is. But what do you think that MeepleTown says your favorite come on game that's not named Blood Rage? John, I got a list for you up here right now. Okay. All right, do you want me to put these in rank?
I appreciate you.
You want me to list these by rank?
A list. No, I don't want to know that. Don't help me out except for just start naming off some. All
right, so we got. I'm gonna name them in order that they have them on here. Arcadia Quest, Zombicide. We've got Sheriff of Nottingham, The Grizzled, Potion Explosion. We've got Dogs of War, The Others, Xenoshift, Rum and Bones, Super Dungeon Explorer. We've got some other answers on here, so I want to make sure. Queen's Necklace, Rivet Wars, Adventures of Smog. We have they do have some Euro games. You like Euro games, right?
Yeah.
They've got Council of Four. They have Lorenzo Il Magnifico. They have games like that. So they're not all just
that's true.
Amerithrash games.
Lorenzo
Godfather, I didn't mention. That's somebody put on there. Steven loves some Zombicide.
Man, all right, y'all.
I do too.
This is a really tough one for me. The first thing that pops into my mind is Rising Sun, though I know that's a super polarizing game. That there's people who love it and people who hate that game. It's the truth. Never played it. Larissa said, my wife said Sheriff of Nottingham. I thought about that too.
It's actually new to Come On Games. I don't know if their version is even released. It is the lesser artistic version.
All right.
I said it.
There's a couple people saying Zombicide, and I think that's what I'm going to go with. Final answer, Zombicide.
Zombicide is the number 1 answer.
Yeah! Yeah! Thanks, MeepleTown. Yeah!
I voted on this one to break a tie, and I voted Zombicide to break the tie.
What was the number 2 answer?
Number 2 was Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Yeah. That's probably your favorite. You haven't even played it, but it'd probably be your favorite.
What does Chuck win?
Project Elite was on there. There was, let's see, Sugar Blast, Godfather, Ethnos, which is fantastic. There's several others on there. This was a really tough one. There was a lot of different answers on there.
All right. Thank you, Chuck and Steven, for helping me out on that one, and everyone else who guessed, because wow. Yeah.
John's got 2. All right, let's jump to the next one.
Did
Let's
I tell
do
you?
this.
I didn't tell you the number 1 answer from the last one, by the way.
No time. All right.
It was 100 was the number 1 answer, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one is, I
next
like this one. What board game other than Catan was most influential in bringing you into the board gaming hobby?
How is your question that much different than what mine was? You even took out Catan, which is the most influential.
Obviously, because that you would get it no problem.
MeepleTown, I need some help. Hey, Jonathan Saw and Andrew Graham both said Dominion, which is the first one that came to my mind. So I'm not jumping to that yet. Ooh, Steven said Ticket to Ride, which is that's a really
Here's the
good
thing,
one too.
Dean. Here's the thing. I think there's a list of about 10 games that you could come up with on a lot of these here. So
Jonathan's right on Gizmos being a good command game. Sorry, I had to jump in there. It is fantastic.
I haven't played that.
Okay.
Surprisingly, one stood out beyond all the rest. And then the next one was razor thin margins. I had to call my brother and break the tie with him
on that
because it was a tied.
This is tough. I think my gut. Martin, then you had to throw Carcassonne out there, which really throws a kink in things too. For me, it was Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne. I think I'm going to go with my gut on this, and I don't think it's right. I'm going to go with Dominion. That's my answer.
Dominion was number 3. 0 points for Dean. It was number 3. That was split between that and Carcassonne, and my brother broke the tie.
Ticket to Ride was the number 1.
Ticket to Ride was by far the number 1. No,
Steven,
problem.
you nailed it. I should have gone with you on that one. That was a really good one.
Yeah. So most people that answered from MeepleTown said that Ticket to Ride was their number 1 game besides Catan that got them into the hobby. Not saying it's better. Out of those games that we just listed, Dominion and Carcassonne are by far better than Ticket to Ride, personally. But I would have probably answered Ticket to Ride as well, because that was, that was a game that hooked me immediately. Those 2 were way up there. And Puerto Rico. All right, man. Look at that.
There's no way I'm coming back from this
2 for 2.
I know.
So you better answer with him.
Nailed it.
All right.
Chuck,
so it's 2-1 right now.
You failed me on this one. No, it wasn't Chuck that failed. No. Yeah, you said Dominion definitely. And I quote.
He's calling you out. Come on. Hey, Chuck helped me, though.
All right. Let's see if you can help John out on this one.
I think he likes me better
if
than
you're going to need help. What is your favorite theme in thematic board games?
Oh, wow. I'm right off the rip. I think the top 2 have to be space and fantasy.
Okay.
But let's see. What do you think out there, MeepleTown? I shouldn't have said anything. What do you think's the best thing? Now, for me, the best theme is farming. That's true.
Your favorite theme, John. Yep. Fun theme in
he's talking to John
Dragons.
Mueller, not to me.
Nailed it, Larissa. Oh, sorry.
Dungeon crawl. Yeah, it could be. That's a good answer. A space is a good one too. That's a lot of folks like space.
Pioneers or Middle Ages. There's a lot of Middle Age games. There's a lot of middle-aged men in this room right now. Am I right?
All right, I'm gonna go with what I think is the. Larissa says Western. I think what is the safest answer for me right now is space. Lock it in.
Number 1 answer. Bing, 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 bing.
Yes.
Bing. Man, I'm getting destroyed here.
4-0. You cannot win.
As soon as I hit enter to send this one out, I was like, oh, that's a given. I'm pretty sure space is going to be a given.
think that my next one is easy for you.
There were all of those answers that people gave. You didn't mention city building, which is another one that was mentioned. Cthulhu was mentioned on here. Let's see, medieval animals and nature, but by far space wasn't even that close. Western was the second answer. So number 2.
Okay, Dean.
Let's just quit.
I sent this one, and as soon as I did, I went, "Oh yeah, this could be obvious." But I also thought we an international audience, so this might be different than what I think. And hey, maybe it's going to throw you for a loop. Greatest pizza topping of all time.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. MeepleTown.
Greatest, and I'm not going to specify anymore.
Cheese is not a topping. Cheese is the essence of the pizza. Correct? So if cheese, I'm not going to say
Okay, here's
cheese.
the thing.
All right.
This I can't tell you whether it's on the list or not, but extra cheese was an answer given. and I'm not going to tell you if it was or more.
Okay.
Okay.
So far, we
Look
got
at that.
several pepperonis. We got cheese, several cheese on there. Oh, boy.
We have some cheese pizza lovers in here, huh?
We've got more cheese.
I like a nice margarita pizza, if it do say so myself.
All right, Chuck. Here's the thing.
Wow, look at this. All
Chuck
right.
said definitely Dominion, and now is saying obviously pepperoni. Oh, Chuck, you've not helped me so far, but I still feel like I need to go with you.
You see, Dean also is
Sorry for picking on you, Chuck.
Dean's a vegetarian as well. So, Dean, are you going to go with a meat choice? Are you going to go with, what you would choose?
Okay, I'm going to go with, Steven says pineapple. This is the time you're going to miss, Steven. You did not get it right. Although I do love pineapple.
I do too.
And back in the day, pineapple and ham pizza was the best. I'm going to go with pepperoni. Chuck has never led me wrong. Never led me astray.
You got 2 bacons down there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Pepperoni is the number 1 answer.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right.
It was hands down the number 1 answer. Number 2 was bacon. And listen to this, Dean. This was so great. I have one comment on here that says they answered 2, diced tomatoes and bacon. And then after it says, please sing the response in your trademark way.
Oh, gosh. Why would you
Diced
request that?
tomatoes and bacon are coming at you. I'm going to eat them all up and give me some bacon. Give me some tomatoes. Put them in my mouth at the same time. Oh, gonna put them in my mouth at the same time. Gonna put them, and they're gonna go down my gullet, and they're gonna get in my tummy, and I'm gonna get in my tummy.
Wow. All right.
Last one.
This is your last one. You've actually already won this game, but we're still going to go for it.
Just like always, when the lights are on.
When the lights are on.
As soon as the lights go off, I lose
Dean
every
fails.
time.
Steven said, by the way, bacon and pineapple, put those hands together. If you're a big Friends fan, you know. Speaking of Friends sitcoms, you ready for this? This is a segue. I've worked in a segue.
Okay.
And when you announce it, it makes it better, right? You're going to have a game night with a cast of one TV sitcom.
Oh.
What show is it?
The Office.
Okay. Is that
Final
your answer?
Hold up. Let me see what MeepleTown says.
All right, let's see what MeepleTown says.
I'm not saying that that's my number 1 answer, but I'm wondering if, depending on the age group, like the first thing that comes to my mind is Seinfeld. I think that would be a lot of people's choice.
Right,
and I do think Friends has a chance. Larissa, my wife, just said Big Bang Theory, which that with our audience could be a pretty good chance too, right?
Friends, Seinfeld.
It could be Friends. Or Seinfeld. Those are the number 2, the number 1 and 2.
You're right. It could be any of these, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But the reason my gut said The Office was because of how it's just more recent, and I think more people will have it on their minds. Plus, if you're maybe under 30, you might not have watched Seinfeld or The Friends that much. I mean, you could have.
We got some more. We got some Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, since you asked, Dean.
Okay.
The Office is my favorite. I've decided, with Seinfeld a very close second, followed by Parks and Rec, probably followed by Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're talking about comedy TV shows. Probably followed by Community.
All right, not what I'm asking. What is your final answer for
The Office?
That's who you would want to play board games with, people from The Office. Office is number 4 answer. The number 4 answer. This really surprised me.
I still beat you by 1, but that stinks.
I thought that The Office would be number 1. Now, here's the thing. I asked for a bonus point. I was going to give you a bonus point thinking that I might be destroying you in this game. Boy, was I wrong. I was going to give you a chance to catch up. The bonus point was, what game would you be playing? And then I was going to ask you that as a follow-up. But you didn't even, you whiffed. Anyway. All right, ready for the number 1?
Andrew Graham just started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes. And so did Dean. Dean just got in on this. Yeah.
Yippee kayak, other buckets. Best line ever.
Dean said that he laughed like all night long.
Oh my goodness.
His wife was in bed.
Though. It's like season 2 or 3, I think.
Okay,
sorry
all right. Sorry. Wasn't your wife sleeping?
She was sleeping, and I was watching it in bed next to her, and the bed just started shaking. I can't control it. Actually happened to me again the other night. I don't remember the line, but I laughed out loud. It came out as a and yeah,
I believe that. Okay,
right.
what's the number 1? What's the number 2 answer?
You want the number 2 answer? Number 2 answer. Oh,
okay. Actually, go. Do you have 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, I've got.
Okay,
3.
go 3, 2, 1. That's
so number 3 is Big Bang Theory. Okay,
that's a good.
And I'll give you one of those answers. Actually, I don't have that on here. I'm sorry, I don't have all these pulled up. I took a screenshot. Okay,
it's definitely Friends and Seinfeld are number 1 and 2.
So Big Bang Theory was number 3. Number 2 might surprise you. Brooklyn Nine-Nine was number 2.
Wow, it's everyone's talking about that now.
What would you want to play with Brooklyn Nine-Nine characters?
What game would I want to play?
Mm-hmm.
I guess some kind of like a
deduction game.
Yeah,
like detective or werewolf. Those are the only ones I remember. People may have given up other ones.
We've said it way too many, Dean. We said it's too much time, but I would want to play Feed the Kraken with them.
Oh, yeah, that would be really
good. They would
get
hype. Okay.
Okay, and then the number 1 is Parks and Rec.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Love that show.
Potentially.
Wow, I love that show, but I didn't think it would
Cones
be
of Dunshire, although there were other options on there.
How did Parks and Rec beat out The Office? Not I love Parks. I'm just saying, like, I just assumed that The Office was the most popular, hands down. Maybe it's just the people.
It's not just the people. I didn't ask what the best.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Andy Dwyer, how could you not want to play a board game with him? And you're probably right. Cones of Dunshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there are other answers on there for that. That's just the only one that I remember.
I didn't think about that. Wow.
That would have been a bonus point. So John wins.
You're right, Chuck.
The pick 6. This is never a contest, by the way. We always just do this to play, but we thought we'd make it a contest. John wins 4-3. I'll be out to win next time, potentially. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm the winner.
For our next review, we have 2 more reviews.
2 more reviews and we're donezo.
7 Wonders.
Okay.
You ready? By designer Antoine Bauza. The game came out in 2010. This is also Antoine Bauza and Miguel Coimbra did the art for this, which I love Miguel Coimbra's art. I didn't realize that Antoine Bauza did the art for this one. This is a repost production game. This is a straight up card drafting game where you're going to be playing through 3 ages. You each have your own little wonders board that you're going to be working towards giving you different bonuses if you complete the different wonders. You're going to be playing cards, and those will give you resources. Those will give you coins. They'll give you bonuses, points. It'll give you science, military, whatever you want to go for. And all you're going to do is play a card on your turn. Pass the cards, play one. Pass them, play them until you have, I think, 6 or 7 cards. Gosh, I forgot. 6 cards. You've played 6 cards, and then you do 3 rounds of that. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. That is it. This is one of the simpler card drafting games out there. Sushi Go would be one that's
plenty
simpler.
Of expansions if you want to add some stuff to it.
A bunch of expansions, right. And we'll talk about some of those. Probably not all of them because I know we haven't played all of the expansions. I don't think either one of us have, but let's talk about 7 Wonders. What do you think?
Yeah, so I will answer Andrew Graham's question, which designer would I want to make Cones of Dunshire? Uwe Rosenberg. Even though, actually, I think I'd pick Alexander Pfister for that game.
That would be awful.
I think that would be a good choice. I think old Pfister would be good for that. I love 7 Wonders. I love this game. It is simplicity, but yet you've got to be thinking about not only what you're doing, but you have to be paying attention to the players to your right and left in this game. You have to be paying attention to, I don't have any bricks, so I better make sure that Dean or the other player to my left's got some so I can buy them. Oh, shoot, there's only one. But man, I'm going to hose myself if there's not at least a couple options for bricks.
Right.
And not only that, but you can get, you can get cards by having the resources, but you can also have those cards that allow you to get them for free. So I could build 2 types of engines. One engine is mostly focused on resources. One is I'm gonna get a bunch of those cards that get me the cards for free. Brilliant. I have to be watching who's building up their army. You have to pay attention to that in this game. You can't just say, I don't care. Probably. It's possible to win if you lose all. It is possible to win. You have to be paying attention to who's getting science. If you're like, I'm going to go
give everyone all the science.
I'm going to go science. Yeah. I'm going to go science. And then everyone starts taking them. Then now you're like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that. And I love how when you're doing all of that, it's just brilliant fun and it's simple, fairly simple, but you have to be paying attention. It's super interactive that way. You can't let someone, like you said, Dean, take all the science or you will lose the game.
Right.
So you might have to shift your play. It is frustrating whenever you're playing with people who aren't that great. I'll be real. And someone else is getting all the science and you're like, oh, someone's got to take some to stop them.
Yeah.
And then you lose the game that you stop the one person from losing. Someone else wins who wasn't really playing that great because you had to be the one to stop them. So anyways,
yeah, that was one of the big points I was going to say. If you're playing with people who don't know the game very well, and you do know the game very well, which it's understandable, but you can really just absolutely destroy them because they don't know what's going to come out, and you do. Like if you've played this game a couple times, you know pretty much everything that's going to come out. The difference comes in the guild cards, and I'm talking about the base game,
sure,
right now. But the base game, you're going to know what cards come out, except the purple guild cards at the end, and you kind of have an idea of what potentially could come out. But this game, I would say, out of all the older ones that we've talked about, I think it holds out the best overall. I think most people, this is a ranked 50th overall, and it came out 10 years ago, right? That's really high for a game that came out.
That came out that long ago. It's still ranked 50 for a reason. And I agree that it is a gateway game. Chuck had responded to Jonathan asking that question. Yeah, it is a gateway. I wouldn't say that it's super easy, but I have brought it out with people who don't play games that much, and they can understand how to play. I don't know if you'll probably thwack them.
This is one of the first games that we played was this. I think this was probably our third or fourth game. My friend David had picked up this game and introduced it to us. The other thing I love about this game, so the base game plays 2 to 7 players. Don't play it at 2, by the way. Pick up Duel if you're going to play a 2-player game.
That's a great game.
If although Rado loves the 2-player version of this, I don't like a lot of 2-player drafting games in general unless it's designed for 2 players.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say 3 to 7. But it doesn't, the playtime doesn't change. You play this in 30 minutes, no matter how many players, because you're all playing simultaneously.
So quick, man. Pop, pop. Mm-hmm. Especially if everybody knows what they're doing. I've played it for a while. It can be really, really quick. I downloaded the app fairly recently, Dean, whenever we started talking about, when we did the top 10 app thing. I've played the crud out of this on my app. I got my wife into it.
Yeah.
I got, she's been playing it a lot.
I played 5 times today.
Yeah.
A lot. I played it.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I just sat down and played the app version 5 times because it's one that I was like, okay, I'd like to play this, have it fresh in my mind. And every time I play this, I'm like, oh, this is why I love this game so much. And a lot of people really prefer Seven Wonders Duel. The Duel, obviously the 2-player version of this. Seven Wonders Duel is a lot of fun. Steven mentioned that in the comments. It is a lot of fun, but it's not my favorite. Seven Wonders with expansions I like it better. Now, my wife would disagree. She loves Duel, doesn't really care for Seven Wonders that much.
Yeah, and I don't know, Jonathan, what Rado's dummy player 2-player version of this is. I don't know. Have you played that before, Dean?
I don't know. Honestly, I've only ever heard him talk about it. I didn't know there was a different version.
I'm gonna go check it out. Thanks for telling us. Okay. Yeah, I don't play this 2 players. I play Duel, but I'm not against actually trying that.
I'm not a big fan. Like Bunny Kingdoms is another one. It's a more like predominantly drafting game that has a 2-player variant that has a dummy hand. I just don't like having that extra thing to think about. I guess for me, it kind of takes away the simplicity of what a lot of drafting games have.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Give us your ratings as Dean's reading this. If y'all don't mind.
Yeah, definitely tell us your ratings.
Give us your ratings out of 10, and Dean, go ahead.
So Andrew, who was with us earlier, I think he is. He had put this in the guild. He gave this one, I'm going to wait for it. Seven Wonders was one of the first games I really loved, and I think it has staying power. Decisions are always interesting in this game, and it scales well with a variety of players. Totally agree with that. Yeah. And moves at a really nice pace. Really want to try the Armada expansion, which is the only one that I've not played with, I think.
I'm right there with you, and I really want to play that one.
10 out of 10 is what
10 out of 10, Andrew. Wow. Yeah. I totally get it.
Steph Hodge,
I totally get it.
Steph Hodge, we're going to do a video with Steph Hodge here soon. Hopefully we'll record it this week, but she loves this game, and Armada is the one, is the most recent expansion for this. And she raves on that one. It's made me really want to pick it up. I've not.
Yeah.
I've not. And then Peter Schott put a 7 out of 10 or so. I like the game, but it's one that I can't easily get to the table. Drafting, building up a tableau, figuring out what other people are doing, and trying to draft appropriately are all appealing. I like the slight buildup and some cards building on others. The main downside, besides not being able to get it to the table easily, is getting through those teaching rounds with buying your materials and such. That is accurate. So in this game, when you're using resources to buy other cards, you're not actually getting rid of that card. It's spending that card. You just have that resource all the time. You just have wood all the time. And if you need a card that needs wood, then I have it here, or I can buy it from somebody who's on either side of me potentially. So it is kind of a bear to teach for beginners, but I think that you can play through a learning game and then immediately play through it again after that, which I like that about this game, and I've done it a lot.
We almost have a consensus in MeepleTown here, y'all.
Yeah. Steven's at 7 out of 10, which I think he said he liked Duel higher. Chuck is at 8 out of 10. Jonathan Saw, 8 out of 10. Martin, 8 out of 10. Am I missing anyone?
Wow. So that's 3 8 out of 10s out there. That's almost consensus. So Dean, give me yours. Come on.
There's a solo mode for Seven Wonders Duel. Huh. I'll have to try that out. Okay. Yep. I agree with what everyone else is saying. Now I play with leaders. I play with cities. I play with Babel, but not all the time. I dabble in Babel. You like that?
I don't know.
I did not write that down. I do dabble in
You've
Babel.
Been waiting the whole episode to say that.
I like the Babel expansion. I think it's fun, but I don't need it. But I do feel like you want cities and you want leaders when you play this game. I think it adds that much more. I really like the leaders part of it. It helps build that engine a little quicker. And I just think that's a lot of fun. So for me, I get this one a 9 out of 10. This is up there with Small World.
I thought you were going to say 8 because you said you agreed with these people. I thought that you were going to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually looked at the wrong number.
MeepleTown folk.
I have this one at 8.5. 8.5 is the base game. 9 with the other stuff in there. That's what I have. Ready?
So it's a 9.
It is a 9, but I want to throw that caveat that I did have that written differently if it was just the base game.
Okay, there you go. Dean, we agree 100%. Pounded Brother, 9 out of 10. I love this game. What was that?
It was
they recorded that.
Reach you.
We're sitting right next to each other. What do you have? T-Rex arms?
I do actually. I cannot reach you. The microphone's in the way. Here,
let's
try
that again. I don't even know what to do right now.
You gave it a 9?
Yes, I love this game.
Fantastic.
Such a good game. Great.
I wish my wife loved this game, but when we're playing 2-player, we'll play Duel. It's one of our top. Duel is one of our top 2-player games.
That was the limp fish of fist bumps.
No, it wasn't. It was like this. I was
nailed it, John.
Oh gosh. Okay. 9 for me, 9 from John, a bunch of 8s. We got a 10 in here. Let's move on to our final review, one that's been played the least amount out of all these, but it's getting a reprint, and we're hype on this game. Ginkgopolis. You ready?
You have to show the box.
Oh, I have it. I do have it. Gosh. Did you show the other ones?
Yeah, I've been showing them the whole time.
I don't think so. Yes. Ginkgopolis. This is the.
Are you even paying attention to this podcast?
No, I'm not. I'm paying attention to myself in the comments. Ginkgopolis. This is the Z-Man version. Pearl Games is going to be doing the reprint that should be coming out. I don't know, maybe this year. I don't have the expansion for this. We're not going to talk about that. I don't think the expansion is getting a reprint. Ginkgopolis is a bunch of different mechanisms all jumbled up in a game, right? Yes. You've got tile placement. You have deck building. You have area control. You have probably other stuff. This game came out in 2012. It's Xavier Jorge, and the artist is, I just left it.
Oh,
yeah, because I wanted to show what other games that he has made. Gail Lanurian, if I may have totally said that wrong. And again, this is getting the reprint from Pearl Games. This is also the heaviest game. It is a 2.91. But in this game...
No, the heaviest game of what?
Is it not the heaviest game? Oh, Agricola.
There's no way Agricola is. And Viticulture, according to BGG, is heavier than this, that's insane.
Oh, it's about the same.
Gink is way more thinky, I think.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. It depends how you weight
games. It depends on how you weight games.
You're right. My bad. I totally forgot about Agricola because it's it's the lesser of the games that we've talked about today.
No.
Correct?
It's amazing. I get why people don't like it. But
Ginkgopolis, you are going to be... it's also card drafting. I didn't mention that. So you're going to have these cards in your hand. You're going to play a card, and you're going to do one of 3 things. You're going to play that card to be able to put another tile out on the outside of the board to kind of build the city out. You're going to play it to put a tile on top of the buildings, which will bring new cards into the mix.
Upgrading those buildings. And you have to have a number higher, or you're going to have to pay some of your... victory points.
That's right. You have to pay victory points. Or the other thing you can do is just take the resources that are on the card, which the resources are, people or tiles. Resources or tiles, sorry. You can either take resources or tile. There's also the engine building element where which is huge in this game. So when you build up a building, the card that you just played is actually going to go in your tableau, and that will give you a bonus whenever you take one of those 3 action, depending on what kind of card you just played into your tableau. So you might go heavy in wanting to build up the buildings a lot because it triggers a lot of cards in your tableau.
Yeah, so you go ahead and play the build up the buildings, then it triggers a thing where now you get to draw 3 no tiles. You also get 2 victory points. You also get a couple resources, because that's how. So the engine building is brilliantly fun in this game. I love it. I love that part of it.
Yes, that's kind of the gist of this game. This game is amazing. Oh my goodness. This game is so much fun. So I'm going back to Steph Hodge. If you, all the Meeples of the Rainbow, she does a blog on Board Game Geek, which is amazing. It's if you read any blogs, you probably read hers because she's just great. She takes wonderful pictures. This is her favorite game. And
that's saying a lot.
She taught us this at the Fall Tennessee Game Days.
I was so bad.
And I thought I was going to win.
I was so bad.
I thought I was going to win, and I did not win this game. But she's played this game hundreds of times, and she was teaching us. And I had thought, okay, I might like this game. I was wrong. I love this game a lot.
Wow.
It's because a lot of, John, you really like engine building games, which
that's my favorite.
Engine building is really strong in this one. The card drafting is fairly strong, I would say.
I like card drafting too.
Yeah, but it uses all these different mechanisms, but it uses them so well. Just throwing a bunch of stuff in the box isn't always a good thing.
No,
but in this, it is. Did it right. It very much is.
They did it right.
Yeah. Jonathan Mullins has played this one. He said an 8.5 with a chance, 8.5, but it has a chance to rise.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I think it will rise for you. I really feel that way.
Yeah.
Sounds
like the golden morning sunrise.
Stephen Clark says he's intrigued by the description. Is that because I did an amazing job describing the game? No.
Wow.
Martin says you're selling that one very well. I want to try it now. Okay, Pearl Games is going to love us after this because they don't need us, by the way. This game's going to get a ton of buys when it comes out.
We sell millions of copies for people,
But I do think that Pearl Games, they're going to have not a hard time. People have been clamoring for a reprint of this one for a long time. I don't know how many print runs they did, but apparently it was not enough. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at Jonathan's comments. I don't think you should read that out loud.
Hard to rate higher on one win.
See, don't. I just told you not to. Don't empower him, Dean.
This one's ranked 400th overall, which is understandable because it's really hard to get a copy of this one. I definitely think with a reprint, and I think it's a straight up reprint. I don't think it's getting like a second edition or anything like that. I could be wrong about that. But I do think that with this game getting more out there, that a lot of people are going to really, really be clamoring at this one. And we knew that less people have played this one, but we felt like we needed to talk about it because you got to play this game, MeepleTown. I want to hear your thoughts, John.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with what Jonathan just wrote there. The first time I played it, it was with Steph, and I rated it an 8.5 in my Board Game Geek in my phone. And I thought this has a chance to rise, but I really struggled being good at it the first time. Like I was having a hard time wrapping my mind around it. I mean, Dean's like, because it's true. I was wore out.
It's not a super difficult
It's not.
game.
And I was getting frustrated with myself because I'm like, I don't know why I'm not understanding this. And it was the last game of the con, right? Or the second to last game.
That is true. It was late.
And we had been playing. This was the second day, and I was just getting tired. And I don't function well when that happens. And I was, but I still really enjoyed it. In subsequent plays, I realized this is a really good game. I really like it. 9 out of 10, Dean. I'm just going to dive right in with my score.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Okay.
I gave 3 games. I'm very hesitant to give scores like that, but we are talking about games that are in my top 50 today. 7 Wonders is definitely, Agricola definitely is, and Gink is definitely going to be.
So 3 out of the 5 that we've talked about, Viticulture, 7 Wonders, and Small World were all in my top 50 last year. I don't think they're all going to be there this time, but they're all rated really high for me. This one is also going to be a really high score. This one's going to be my highest score. This one's going to make my top maybe 20 or 25, I would imagine.
Wow.
I would think so. Or higher. It'll be higher.
You're going to add the 0.5 on here?
Yeah. 9.5.
Whoa. Yeah, I get it.
This game is absolutely amazing.
9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, John, you can't look it up. I'm gonna look this up. Talk for just a second. I'm gonna look
I
up.
generally have no problem doing.
I'm gonna look up when this reprint is gonna come up. I think Chuck is the one that was asking about that. It is. I think it's this year. It says reprint confirmed. Oh,
I love when Dean
Internet,
says,
ready?
"Hey, John, we're going to need you to talk," and then just continues to talk.
It just says it's
Do
coming
you need
this year.
me to talk, or do you not need me to talk?
It's coming this year. No, I never need you to talk. I definitely never need you to sing a song. But it just says, it just says that it is going to be reprinted this year. Now, Pearl Games did post something on Facebook, which I'm trying to pull up right now because apparently it will have a different cover on there. I think the art in this is actually really
is that
good.
the new cover?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
Look it up, MeepleTown. Go to Pearl Games on Facebook and you can see it. It's beautiful. I don't know who did the.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not sure who did the art on that. You can't see it.
That's Instabuy for me.
Hey,
can I ask you this? Is it Instabuy for you or not because you have this copy of it?
No, because I don't think there's any changes coming to this one. No, I do.
Is it tempting?
No.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no. If it's the exact same game except just upgraded art. Now,
what if they have upgraded components?
You got me. Oh man, that's
what if it's not the little cubes? What if it's like little towns or people or something like that?
Yes. I don't know. We'll just
sing
we'll
a Sister
see.
Hazel song because I don't. Sorry,
we'll see what
listeners are wondering what I'm talking about.
We'll see what
request
happens.
to sing I'm just talking over you.
Okay, Jonathan also said Hansa Teutonica, which is one where we both really want that. We're hoping we'll get a review copy of that. Hansa Teutonica big box is coming out, I think, here in a couple months, if I remember right. But again, I don't know when Ginkgopolis is coming out, but it will be later this year. Now, here's what we're going to do, John. I didn't even ask you about this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to close out the episode because it'll make it easier for me to close out the episode from the podcast. But we'll stick around for a while. You good with that?
Oh, yeah, we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, John, why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with us? Wait.
What the heck?
That's a 9.5 from me, a 9 from John. John, tell people how they can get in touch with us.
Well, I will. You can subscribe to our channel. Just hit that subscribe button right now. But this is a podcast also. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to go over there. You can go to MeepleTownGames.com and you can check out all our stuff at that website. Yeah, you can do that. You can also follow us at MeepleTown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I have no idea what melody that was. That was just weird. And we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407. 3407. Hey, sing with me. Come on. Let's get, come on.
How about
that? 3407. Oh, 3407.
In case the episode wasn't long enough, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.
I hope that people get that stuck in their head tonight.
They will not.
I
can assure you. We'll stick around for a little bit. We're done with the podcast recording piece of this. John's going to turn that part off, I'm assuming. But if you have any questions for us, just ask. Again,
Hey, I want to know for those who are still on here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stop of this podcast recording, but everything else is there. Hey, are there any games? What games do you want us to review? I'm just curious if there's anything out there. First of all, is there anything out there new that you watch this at 4 a.m.? Wow. Dude,
hey,
Chuck, you rock.
Yeah.
You rock.
Excellent.
All right. So any new games or old games? I'm just kind of curious on both that you're interested in. Because Dean and I are looking at some newish games because we haven't done a whole lot of newer things because it's not been coming out. You know, they haven't been coming out like crazy at this time of year, especially without having. What you're laughing about something?
Okay, John's singing is not the best part of this.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have to disagree with that.
Uh-oh. Look at that. Is that a little flabby?
And I shouldn't have to make those faces.
Look at that. Look at that thing.
Oh boy, this is actually still going to be on YouTube. So
yeah, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck. Thank you.
Totally
Chuck,
thrown off there.
Chuck, you're probably gone by now, but thank you for checking us out at 4 a.m. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
We want to do more live stuff. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like. If it's going to be podcasts, if it's going to be playing games, we have no idea. But excellent, Chuck.
Fort, yeah. Hey, Steve.
Yes.
That's one that I really want to get my hand out. I wish that Leader Games would send us a copy.
We don't know if we're going to get a review copy of that one, but even if we don't, we'll probably pick that one up.
I didn't get rejected, but I hadn't heard anything back either, so that's probably rejection.
Obsession. Hey, I'm glad you said that, Jonathan, because I I've been interested in that game. It's appealing to me. It's not, the new hotness right now at this point, I don't think. But I've really wanted to check that one out. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I would say that I really like Calvin Klein Dark Obsession. It is a fantastic cologne, and that's what I wear at all times. I'll rate it right now, 10 out of 10.
No, there you go. There's your review on Obsession. We've already done it.
Dark Obsession. It's better than Obsession. There's two kinds. You got to get it right. Got to get it straight.
Yeah, we do have a few games kind of in the hopper to review, but they're not necessarily going to be like our main reviews on the podcast. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
Hey, who's just curious? Anyone interested? Because Stronghold just sent us a whole bunch of games. We haven't got them yet. Who's anyone out there interested in Aftershock? Anyone out there interested in Fast Sloths and the new expansion that's come out? Then what's the Fine Sands, the game that they just reprinted?
Fast Sloths.
No, Igniza or whatever that is. Igniza or whatever. If anyone's interested in still hanging around, let us know if you're interested in those. We're not probably going to do any of those with a full review, but
we'll do a YouTube.
We'll do YouTube on all those,
for sure.
But if anyone's interested in any of those,
Escape Plan. Okay, now I've never played a Vital Lacerda game. That is Lacerda, right? Escape Plan. That's in that. Am I getting that? Yeah.
I think so.
Oh man, I'm gonna sound like a okay.
Now you're I mean, I would have.
I've never played any of those games because they are a bit frightening for me. But Escape Plan is the one that seems like it would be a better fit for me out of all of those. Although Jonathan said I would really like Gatherist, so we might check that one out at some point too.
Hey Burford, we are gonna do the crew. That's a great. Yeah, Dean's got it. We just haven't played it because we're gonna.
It's 3-player, and we're not playing a lot of 3-player games right now.
Yeah,
so.
we want to minimally do at least a segment on Spiel des Jahres nominees and stuff like that. So, my wife just said Mall Madness.
Larissa, I have the original Mall Madness.
We do too, actually. You and her should get together.
Game was amazing. I love that game as a kid.
I'm gonna give you permission to have a date with my wife, and y'all can watch Friends and play Mall Madness.
You kid, but that actually sounds like an amazing night.
I trust you, Dean, with my wife.
There is a sale at the Sunglass
trust I have in you. Is this getting weird?
It's going to get weirder.
You go to 30, you never go back. I've heard that from a lot of people. 100%. Jonathan Mullins would agree with that. Who's still on here?
Does anybody have any interest in Project Elite? Because we are going to do that. I'm going to make Jonathan play. Is
anyone interested in Project Elite? Because I'm not as interested. And he's like, we got to do it. We got to do it.
No, you're going to do it. It's going to be a huge hit.
I might like it. I don't
Smartphone.
know.
That's another one. Neither one of us have that one.
I thought about picking Smartphone.
Nor do we have a review copy.
Heavy Cardboard really kind of that game. And that's what I really wanted to play it. And then whenever I saw him saying, now I think he had it.
Smartphone is a Dice Tower Essential game. Is that right?
I don't remember. I
think that's right.
Yeah. It's one where he just didn't, I think it could have been early in the stages before the final copy was out though. So maybe they've changed a few things, but that was kind of, besides that, I've really wanted to play that one. Maybe I'll pick that one up.
The theme does absolutely nothing for me, and that's why, sometimes if a theme doesn't grab me, I pay no attention to it.
Marco Polo 2. Anyone interested in that? Because I'm super interested in that, and Dean's all like, I don't really care about playing that.
Neither one of us like Marco Polo 1.
We don't not like it. It's just not.
It was like a 6.5 or something like that. So it wasn't.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that actually, with some designers that I love. So that's why I was a little disappointed in that game. But if no one else is interested in Marco Polo 2, then you will prove your point right that no one really cares about that game.
Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I actually prefer Suburbia to that, but I get why people really like that. We talked about doing a comparison between those two.
Marco Polo 2, the Splash Fights back.
That commercial gets me every time. The Marco Polo
Pendulum.
What is it? Is it like a Geico? Oh, Pendulum will be reviewed as soon as we get it, no doubt. My hype level for Pendulum could not be higher than it is, which means it's going to be like a 4 for me.
Mine keeps swinging back and forth.
Boo. But yeah, Pendulum it'll as soon as we possibly could review that, we will. I'm hyped for that one.
There you go.
Somehow we picked up a new viewer after we're.
Did I accidentally? I met it. Maybe
I think it may have been you. I'm not sure.
That's not what I was doing though. I was actually going to see You had to go see something about smartphones. So yeah. Well, all right. We probably should be done. What do you think, Dean?
We have to review Zombicide.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get John to play Zombicide. Maybe Steven and I can do a live playthrough of Zombicide. That actually would be a lot of fun.
There you go.
Okay, wait. I need to ask one more question. I know most people are ready to go. I know you got to go. It's late.
No, I don't. I mean, I can hang around.
We've talked about doing different things. We'll probably do more live podcasting at some point. But are there other things that you would want to see? I mean, we want to do live playthroughs. We can't do a ton of live stuff because our schedules are so weird. It's difficult to do. But if we can, is there anything else that we could do live that you guys would want to see besides John singing?
And do you enjoy the live stuff?
Yeah.
Or is it something that you can pass on? Just curious. Yeah, let us know. Because we're
Formosa tea.
I've really enjoyed this. It makes me feel like we're all one big happy family.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good turnout here. Yeah.
I'm with you, Steven. It is fun with the audience. And we've had a lot of audience interaction. This has been.
Yeah, it's been honestly, we were on all day the last week, the week before. We've been like, hey, I'm just wondering how many people are going to show up. Just because you just don't ever know, and so I really appreciate y'all coming on. This has been really nice.
An RPG, John says we could do that. Now I don't know what this is going to look like or sound like in the podcast format. It might be awful, but we're just going to post this straight up on there. We'll see. And so we'll get, we'll definitely, I mean, we have a lot more listeners than we do have viewers today. So, thanks, Martin. I really appreciate that. You're a dynamic duo.
Check that out.
The live stuff is very enjoyable. That means a lot. It does.
It does.
When people, hey, by the way, if you have not, I'm making another plug here. One, if you have not subbed people, which I'm sure you have, but also if you haven't given us a review on iTunes, that helps us out a lot too, to kind of get us out there. So, so please do that.
Yep.
I have been playing in a
Steven, I thought about Dean and I have talked about doing something like that in the past.
What did Steven say?
You could do an RPG, like choose your own adventure, and let the audience help vote for like what to do next. We should do that next. That's such a good idea, and we should come up with like a stupid RPG, like it doesn't have to be like a dungeon crawl one, which I mean would be cool. But I'm saying,
would it be
like you're going out to dinner?
We haven't played the choose your own adventure games.
Walks up to you.
Have you played choose your own adventure?
He has something in his pocket.
Oh gosh,
you're worried it's a gun.
I'm gonna be here for a while.
What do you say?
Are you asking me right now?
No, I'm just saying that's what we're going to do.
We could do improv, Michael Scott, like pulling out a gun every time something happens.
Yeah, a silly non-fantasy.
He just told me he has a gun in his pocket.
That's it. That's
Thanks, John. Oh boy. Oh boy. The choose your own adventure games. I wonder if that would be fun. I've never played the game, so I don't. Yeah, I know.
Beulah.
Thanks, John. That would be a lot of fun though. I've been playing through a D&D campaign recently. That's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's time consuming for sure. It's a totally other hobby that I don't know if I'm ready for.
That's my problem. I don't have time for it, but I want to. So
yeah. I think we're ready. We're ready to shut this down.
Thanks,
we'll try to do this again. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll do this again sometime. Holler at you later.
Bye.
Thanks for coming down to MeepleTown is what I should have said.